Hey everyone, I know it's been a while. I want to apologize. It's been a very, very busy semester, and I know this is actually a couple of weeks past due, but I'm back. So, first of all, I want to congratulate the class of 2016. Everyone, including myself, who was pretty much for the last 3.5 years or 4, have pretty much took on the pressure and the stress and the classes and the amount of homework piled up on piles of more work, and including those who even work outside, have a job, including school. Congratulations, you've made it, you did it, you done it, you walked. And now what, right? So that's the question I've been getting. Now what? So before I get into that, I'd just like to go over some things. Well, first of all, second of all, because I've already done the first thing, I want to thank all my friends, all my family for the support, just being there when you weren't actually here physically. A lot of people weren't here, but some people that were here, they knew who they are, and they done so much in the time that I have gone from being this security guard. Well, nothing wrong with that, but because when I first started, I'm going to go over this whole thing, but anyways, I want to thank each and every one of you because you've done wonders. I mean, there are people that say that, oh, I got here by myself. No, I didn't get here by myself. I got here with the support of all my friends and families, and you all know who you are. I could go along a long list of names, but you know who you are. And I appreciate everything you've done for me personally, and I look forward to continuing to build a relationship in the future and going forward and developing future endeavors. So that's what I wanted to say. I love you all, by the way. I love you all. So I know it's been a very stressful year for the most part. It's just been crazy, but all the pressure, everything, work, and work is not letting up. It's actually gotten a little more worse on the work front for me, but I'm looking forward to something, bigger and better in the long run. But anyways, I want to say that. So next thing, guys, if you're still watching this, as you might have noticed in the background, there's a Loa Tower. I was actually here today. I decided to go around and take some photos of the campus and everything. And did you know that you can actually go to the top floor in the Loa Tower and there's an observatory up there? It's pretty cool. I just found out, and I've been here for how many years? Anyways, so just something, if you want to do something on a Saturday or on a day that you're not doing anything, go to Loa Tower. That's part of our campus. So, what's next on my list of things to talk about? Well, being that I just graduated, and I've actually seen a lot of graduations. I'm holding this camera, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. But I've been to quite a few graduations and that weren't my own, and I just supporting other friends of mine. And I think everyone that actually came to my graduation, I know a lot of people could not come. It's understandable. I live thousands of miles from the mainland. That's okay, don't worry. But those that were there in spirit, I thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, mom, my brother, my sisters, and even I had a friend, Australia, like take a screenshot of me, and that was like friggin' awesome. You know who you are, Joe. That's amazing, because we had a live stream. So and a lot of people weren't there, so they couldn't see they couldn't see anything. So I posted the live stream link on Facebook, and some people saw it. Many people didn't, but it's okay. Moving on. So I've been to a lot of graduations in my time here, just supporting others, and I've talked to a few people, like, you know, prior to graduation, and there's always this sense of like, well, what's next? That's my next topic. So what's next for me? I'll get into that. But there's always this sense of fear. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go into the real world now. And for me, it's kind of different, because I'm actually coming back to college. Like, I came back. Like, I went to a trade school like some years ago, prior to joining the military and all that. I got an associate's degree in film and video production, and I did that for a good 13 months. And the real world for me was paying off loans, and it's not fun. And having a crappy job, you know. Nothing against the jobs. I mean, they were actually two good jobs at the time. I was working in the theater, I was doing Papa John's, and that was that. But I mean, that weren't enough to actually pay my bills at the time, and my arm was getting tired. But it just wasn't enough. And that's predominantly the reason, or one of the reasons, why I joined the military, to pay the loans. And of course, I found out that they don't pay private loans. So if you're planning on joining the military to pay loans that are pre-existing, then you might want to make sure that you read that very well. They do have a program to pay pre-existing loans, but it's what I found out, like I said, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, because I did 4 years of this. They only do federally backed loans. So anyways, long story short, that's what I had to do. And so many years later, it seems like many years later, it's 2016, I started my newest college experience in 2013. So yeah, January 2013 I started, and then I was looking to go back to school. I was thinking, like, well, what am I gonna do? I knew I always wanted to go back into business, like the film video thing. I mean, it's still on, it's still there, it's not going anywhere. But what I really wanted to do was kind of like take the business aspect, because I mean, the film and video part is kind of like part of the story. It's like there's a missing piece to it. It's like, I can do it. I could write a script, shoot a movie, produce it, you know, but I have very little business mind. So what I decided to do is go back for business, and not only like kind of like bridge the gap between the artistic and the business, but I can do anything with business now. I originally started with general business, and I ended up pursuing an international business degree, and that's what I graduated with. So, because I can pretty much do anything with that business, so it's like having a fallback, because I can do anything, and really, I mean, the degree itself, it's good, it's great, but it's not the end all. It's something you have to come to terms with when you finally get it, or before you get it, because you'll get it, but it doesn't mean it's the end. It doesn't mean it's the end of learning. It doesn't mean it's your free ticket to your dream job. It just doesn't happen that way. And I wish it could, but it's not. It's not reality. And no matter what you do in life, whether you get a degree or not, you have to apply yourself. So I'm kind of skipping ahead here to the tips and advice, but at the end of the day, you have to apply yourself. And some people are very good at this, which is why they stand out more than most people. You have to apply yourself. So that's going to be something I'm going to be working on this year. This is a developing year as I look at it, because last year for me to pursue studying abroad, among other things, and I had to develop it the year prior to. So I'm not saying it'll take the whole rest of this year to develop something or to get something off the ground. I'm just saying that I have to start now if I haven't started already. And I have started developing something to go towards what I want to do next. And I'm going to get to that. So just because you have the piece of paper doesn't mean that you have a free ticket to go do whatever you want, but you can do whatever you want if you so believe. So just a brief overview of my college experience. Like I said, I hopefully it doesn't take too long. I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep it under an hour. No, definitely. My battery's only got so much power left on here, and I'm gonna be knee deep in traffic by the time I get done with this, so let's go. So my brief college experience, well, this time around started as me working security. Now, nothing wrong with doing security. I did it for a couple of years, maybe a little bit more than that, and I even done it starting my school, my uni here. It was the easiest job. It's easiest job you can do, actually, if you're looking for something easy to do and doesn't require much head power at all. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that because you have school, you have everything else, then that's a good thing. And plus, if you're there long enough at the company, you can start, picking your different locations. And that's pretty much what I did. I got a good location. I was working on a college campus, and things changed. The company I was working with lost contract, and eventually I had to move places, and eventually I got tired of working security, and I was like, for me, it wasn't fulfilling enough, and so it started to rain. Okay, so I'm gonna have to move here in a second. Perhaps I should move right now, because it's raining hard. All right, so it's probably better if I just stand up and do this, because I'm right under some protective covering right now. I don't want this phone getting wet, even though it is an Edge. It is not the 7, so I'm not gonna cross that bridge. Not this time. So, where was I? So things changed with the security gig, and while it was easy and it was fun at the time, I met some interesting people, as always in a job. You'll meet interesting people, and that's fine. But once it's time to move on, it's time to move on, and it's getting loud. Oh my goodness. So, I'm dry, I'm good. I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, this might be a problem later on when I edit this. So eventually I moved on. Early 2014, I finally got a job a lot more fulfilling, and it was something that was in my field, and it was perfect because I still do it to this day. But while I was doing the job, going to classes and everything, it was not easy. However, the hours of my class and hours of my work were separate. So for the most part, I split it up. So I had classes 2 days out of the out of the 7 days of the week, and I worked the rest of the days, which was, as I said, not easy because I had to do something every day, and then of course, I had to find time to do homework, which takes time. So, and then on top of that, I was doing reservist duties on the weekends, so I'd have to do that as well. So that's just a little bit brief overview of my experience of going to uni and then doing work and everything else. And I gotta tell you, man, like, ladies and gentlemen, it is not easy. And for those that think it is, you got another thing coming. And I'm not saying it's as hard as being a single mom with 2 kids, anything like that, but it's pretty close. If I had to make a comparison, juggling all these things, then you have all this pressure, you have the stress, and like a few times, I'm a pretty cool guy when I'm pretty cool-headed for the most part, but there were the few times where I was just like felt like snapping, like I just wanted to like rip somebody's head off. But you know, I didn't. I kept my cool, and actually going abroad in Australia last year was the best thing for me. And I gotta say, because it wasn't just class, work, there was other things in my life I'm not gonna talk about in this video, but there were other things that just pushed me to the breaking point. But you know what, I did make it. I graduated, and a lot of people in this country can't say they have done that, or even in the world. It's a great privilege, it's a great opportunity if you can go back to uni and just get the degree, you know. I'm not saying it's for everybody, I'm saying, and I actually had to think about it for a while. You know, is there a purpose of going back to class? I'm like, for me there was. There was a financial opportunity for one. 2, opportunity cost says, well, I could be doing something else, but now I'm learning, I'm in class, and I'm networking, I'm meeting people, I'm making friends, I'm getting experience being part of leadership and clubs or whatnot. If I had to say there was anything that I regret about my college experience, is not doing more. Like my last few semesters, and no matter what happens, no matter what you do, it's always gonna come a point in time where you have to put priorities first. And yes, I was part of leadership in a couple of clubs that I had joined. Of course, I started off at the bottom and worked my way up to the top. Became vice president and eventually president of Toastmasters, and I was also part of the entrepreneurship club. We did a lot of great things though. As a team, and the team I work with, the students I work with at the time, we did a lot of things. We fulfilled, I mean, I don't feel like we did the greatest, but we did the best we could with what we had. And like I said, my main regret is that I could have, I wish I could have done more. I know a lot of people's main regret is that they wish they could have, took their time instead of rushed through it. And I think for the most part, I took my time. In fact, I almost put off doing the semester and doing it, just waiting till the fall and doing it then, but I decided, no, I just want to finish it off because I really need to finish this. Like, there's a lot of cases, a lot of people go to school, they may not ever finish it. They just say, well, I'm gonna finish it, but I'm gonna wait. Like, no. I'll tell you what, my word of advice is to just finish it, okay? Just go for it, finish it, get it over with. If you're gonna go to school, get it done as soon as you can. You're not getting any younger, you're getting older. And the longer you spend in that job, whatever, that you may not like. Now, if you like a job, go for it, stay with it. What's the point of going to school if you're in the career field that you're already going to? So, but I'm saying the degree does help. That's all I'm saying. So I'll basically talk a little bit about my experience, my time abroad, even as a veteran. Now, I know the easiest thing you can do is probably just chill with the other veterans. I'm telling you, you got to network. While it is important to network with your own people, it's also important to reach out and network with other people that you may not have a common experience with. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, unless you want to stay in the same community, that's fine too. But I found that, and I've always kind of been this person where I'm a part of a group or association, but I like to reach out to other people in different groups and associations and make friends, because you never know who your friends are, or you never know who you'll meet when you're going to school. You never realize it until after the fact. After 5-10 years in the future, it's like, oh man, we both made it, and now we're both part of these big companies or organizations in the future. You just never really know. And that can take you really far in life. Sometimes not always what you know, but who you know. So it's kind of my tips and advice. Main question, probably the most popular question you're gonna ever receive if you haven't graduated yet, is now what? What's next? What's next on the horizon for you? And I can tell you, for me, I have a few things going, a few things that I'm developing. Now, I know that's a very vague statement. I'm gonna go a little deeper than that, because while I do have some things developing, I've also written it down. I've also started kind of going through the steps of how to get to that point. And I'm not at a point where I can execute it yet, but I'm getting there. So, few things that I'd like to accomplish before the year is over. One, start developing a business of my own on the back end, pretty much aside from what I do for work right now, because really, I already know that I'm not going to be at my job forever. I know that. In fact, I'm planning an exit strategy right now to the point where I can basically phase out without losing income. That's gonna take some work. It's not gonna be easy, but that's where the business plan that I've started developing, and I have one business plan that I'm pretty sure I could fall back on, if anything, is doing wedding videos or event videos, or even if you wanna visualize a little further out. If I want to visualize a little further out and being some kind of event planner, I've been looking at something like that for a while, and I feel that I could do pretty well in that field if I really wanted to. But just kind of narrow it down a little bit. Cameras, camera productions, video production, basically, because I've done it before, and now that I've done the classes and the homework and all that stuff, I kind of have a better feel to basically build a team instead of doing everything by myself, which I originally did. Which I've always kind of wanted a team anyways to work with, because things come together with a team versus when you do it by yourself. Now, there are people that do it by themselves, but it's a lot more difficult, a lot more challenging. The second thing, real estate. It's something I've always been interested in doing, and at this point in my life, I feel that I'm ready to start diving into a lot more. And especially now that the economy's on the up and up. Now, before I go further in this, there's never gonna be any perfect day, perfect time to get into anything in life. The economy could be total crap hole, and there are people that still make money. So, regardless of what it was, I feel that I'm ready. I feel that I can do this. I know I can do this. I mean, real estate is a tried and true thing for one. 2, it also helps towards my goal to actually buying a place of my own. And I'd like to do that in the next couple of years, or even a year and a half from now. I have the means, I have the capability. I just have to find a place, a location for one. I've already started looking at the West Coast right now. So I have these many, like I said, I have these ideas. I got them written out. I've even started developing like a plan to start finding a place on the West Coast. I'm looking at like right now, Oregon, not so much Washington, but Oregon or California at the moment, Northern California, or even San Diego for that matter. But anyway, these are just ideas. It's better to have these ideas written out on paper. So when I look at the stuff, I know this is where I'm going. This is the map that I have written out for myself. And this is where I plan to go, okay? If you don't have, this is probably gonna be my #1 tip. If you have a plan, there's something you wanna do, there's something you wanna make happen, write it down, okay? I'm telling you, the phone and the computer is not the same thing. It may seem like it, but once you shut that phone off, it's like you shut your dream off for a second. I know that I have this notebook. It's not the notebook I write stuff in, but this is one of the notebooks I have. If I put this notebook on my desk, it doesn't just shut off. It's always on, so it's always open. So when I look at it, guess what? Now my mind is thinking, oh, I gotta start doing a lot more of this now to get to what I need to go, right? It's a map. Unless you have the map open at all times, you may lose track. You may lose focus of where you're going. That's all I'm saying. My advice is not something I'm just pulling out my butt. I've been here, I've done it. This has helped me quite a bit. I have been to a point living in an apartment with another person in the same room and barely making it. Hawaii is not the cheapest. You can say that, oh, I'm lucky to be here. No, I'm not lucky to be here because I decided I wanted to stay here. I decided, hey, I'm gonna make this work somehow, some way. I'm gonna sustain myself being here. And after that, it was a couple of years. I got out of the Navy in 2010. It was almost 3 years before I started going to school. 3 years to basically get my feet back on the ground. Don't tell me I'm lucky to be here. It's an awesome place to be if you have the opportunity to come out here. But I think it's about time for me to go. And I'm looking at maybe the next year and a half to a couple of years, which falls in line again with my plan to find a place of my own. See, I have a plan. It's not the best plan and I'm still working on it, but I have a plan. If you have something to fall back on, a plan, you gotta have something. If you don't have anything, then you're just, I don't know. You're lost. And I hate to say that because there are a lot of people that had a plan or they thought they had a plan and it didn't go through. So what happens when your plan doesn't work out? You just give up? No. You keep going. You make it happen. Sometimes you have to redevelop your plan. You have to go back to the drawing board. And I've done that a few times. The Navy for me was 4 years. Okay, 4 years after duty, I did it. I knew that I did not want to stay in the Navy. At least not the active duty component. I still do the reservist part, and I still, reap the benefits of that. So you have to sometimes go back to the drawing board. You have to refocus, rethink. You have to adapt. Life happens. It's not the end of the world, like school. There were a few times where I wanted to give up. Like, man, I want to give up. But I know better. I was brought better than that. And I've learned a lot of things in my life, in my time in uni, meeting all the friends. And it's been a wonderful experience overall, and I would never trade it for anything else, because you don't get to do something like this all the time. And yeah, there were times when I thought like, hey, sometimes I wish I could just stay in school, but, and I think everybody has that thought, that kind of fear, like, man, when I'm done with school, then what? But you have to grow up, you have to get out and make something of yourself if you really want to do that, if you want to succeed. And success is not something I can say, well, it's making a lot of money, it's this or that. It's whatever you want it to be, really. You know, doing what you love, that's what I want to do. I want to do something I love. I mean, real estate may not be something I love, but I've never tried it. I don't know. But I tell you what, though, I do love writing, and eventually I'm gonna go back to writing creative stuff. Maybe some nonfiction too. So stay on the lookout for my book, because it's coming. I don't know what it's gonna be about yet, but I'm gonna write something. Of course, I have my blogs. I'll be writing my blog, so stay tuned for that. The future is not set in stone. Life is organic. It happens. And the best way you can get through life is to get through it. Sometimes one day at a time, sometimes a couple weeks at a time. It depends on your circumstances. Sometimes you can plan it out for 5 years. But I would advise to stay somewhat spontaneous every now and then. Sometimes you have to take a trip. I'm going on a trip to Australia next year. I'm going back, that's right, I'm going back. And it may not be the same as last time I went, but I'm not exactly going to do the same thing I did anyway, so. Oh yeah, I want to do a road trip across the US. Gonna do a road trip. Never did one. Never done one before. Whoever's interested, I'm very serious about this. If anyone's interested in going on a road trip, please let me know. I'm down, I'm game. I can't do it like right away, although I do have the finances to do it right away. But I'd like to plan it out in advance to go. So I'm very serious. Very serious. So that's friends or families, whoever wants to go, whoever's watching this video and maybe we'll be cool later on in the future, that's cool too. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off here. It's been real. It's been an awesome experience overall, and this won't be my last video, of course. I know it may sound like that, but it's not going to be. There'll be more videos to come, but this will be the last one of this sort that I'll make, because of obvious reasons. Unless I graduate again, I don't plan on getting a master's at the moment. I don't feel that I need a master's, but who knows? That might change, who knows? Maybe I'll become a doctor or something, I don't know. No, not actual doctor, but a doctor, you know, doctorate degree. But anyway, it's been real, it's been fun. Look me up. Like I said, I'm gonna be here in Hawaii for the next year and a half to a couple years at least. That might change, but at least for now, I plan on being here for another year and a half. So look me up if you're in town. And of course, I'll let you know if I'm in your areas, wherever you are. My friends, my family. I gotta visit my family though. I've been gone too long. But again, I want to give a thanks to everyone, friends and family, anyone who's been there for me in school, out of school, it doesn't matter. You know who you are. It's taken a lot of support. It's taken a lot of everything to get to this point where I can say, you know, I'm glad to be here. That it's not every day I get to graduate. It's not every day anyone gets to graduate. And if you've made it to this point, well, I would hope you have a plan for the future, because I know what the American dream was 70 years ago, but it's not the same now. It's a different world, and you have to put yourself out there if you want to get that dream career or vocation, whatever. You're gonna have to put yourself out there and make it happen. That is the best advice I can give you. There's plenty of books on this stuff. I'm gonna continue to make videos of my experience, my path on this stuff. So don't feel like you have to go it alone, because I know that I could say, well, I got here by myself. No. Of course, I woke up every day. I thank God for that. Thankful for being healthy and having the opportunity to spend time with my friends and everyone I've met over the course of my semester. It's really been amazing for the most part. Anyways, thanks. I appreciate it, really do. And to conclude with this, I just want to say that like I said, please, if you like this, follow, like it, and stay tuned for future videos to come, because there's more coming, I promise you. So, things changed. Okay, I'm gonna move. Okay, and now wow, I got too much backlight here now. What if I can move somewhere else?